Greetings, gamer guys and gals. Welcome to part 38 of my Let's Play Pokemon Scarlet. What? This Let's Play is going on? Did we just beat the game? Yes, we did. But the game still goes on. There's a post-game, and I'd like to finish whatever is in the post-game, do whatever I need to. In fact, our very next objective is to meet up with our group of friends at Director Clavel's office. I do also want to address my final thoughts about this game, and I think I'm going to do just that this episode. Now, these are final thoughts concerning the story up to this point to the end of the game proper, not the post game, obviously. And I do plan on continuing with going on and making like battle videos. I do want to make some battle videos where like I have EV trained Pokemon who have perfect stats, this, that, and the other, Ubers, even. And then also, like, for instance, regular teams. I'm going to have a bug team, I'm going to have a singles team, and I'm going to have a doubles team. That's my plan. I already have their EV spreads and movesets and everything like that all settled. It's just a matter of getting all these Pokemon, getting them together, and making some viably awesome teams with them. Maybe not meta, because I'm not a meta guy. I don't give a care about meta or what people use, or whether or not I win or lose. I just like having a good time. That's my attitude. I love challenge. In previous videos, I said something along the lines, missaying it, I guess you could say, is that I don't really just sweat games, or, you know, like, I don't understand people who only look for challenge. I'm not looking just for challenge. I'm looking for a good, fun time in my games, even when I am actually try-harding or challenging or whatever. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get to the director's office. Ha! Looks like the hero's finally here. Would you join us, Master Zeke?
We're in for an earful, aren't we? Guess we'll find out soon enough.
No need for concern, you two. I'm not angry in the slightest. I merely called you all here to discuss your fine achievements in this year's treasure hunt. You shut down the professor's time machine and thus prevented the ancient Pokémon from running rampant across Paldea. Your actions were truly outstanding in every regard, and I couldn't be prouder of you all. Though your decision to enter a strictly off-limits area was admittedly regrettable.
You've got us there.
However, since this was necessary to protect Paldea and its precious ecosystem, I am willing to overlook that particular point.
Phew! So we're not getting raked over the coals after all.
Oh, before I forget, Master Zeke, there's something I would like you to have. Each of your friends has received one already, so this one is for you.
Ooh! I was wondering why we had not received this, so literally you cannot get the Master Ball beforehand. Very intriguing. Like, actually super duper intriguing that we're getting a Master Ball here. And then he says each of our friends got one. Obviously, this region has pretty well made it canonized in the region that Master Balls are a little bit more plentiful than they are in other regions. Not to say that they are plentiful. But, for instance, the Time Machine was catching Pokemon using Master Balls in the ancient past. I mean, that's just wild. We literally fought an AI Sada who had a team of 7, not 6, Pokemon that were all in Master Balls that were caught from a previous or past location, which is really weird. Why wasn't our Koraidon caught in a Master Ball? That's really weird. I would have loved that if he was, because the Master Ball is not necessarily my favorite my favorite Pokeball, but it is pretty cool. It's one of the reasons why I decided to kind of cheat a little with the glitches in my Pokemon Coliseum run as of late, and use the Infinite Pokeball glitch for the Master Ball only, and only for my specific team that I was going to build. because I'm not like truly a cheater. I just wanted every Pokemon in that team to be in a Master Ball because it's cool. But this is interesting. You put the Master Ball in your bag's Pokeball's pocket. The very best Pokeball with the ultimate level of performance. With it, you will catch any wild Pokemon without fail. The only thing I don't like about Master Ball's design is the M on it. I think it'd look better without it. Oh, and about the Hall of Fame badge I gave you a short while ago. That gift is one we bestow only upon students who achieve truly remarkable feats. I expect you to honor what that badge represents by striving to always serve as a model for your fellow students. You can count on me. Splendid! Such enthusiasm will surely take you far in life. And, Master Arvin, I was so sorry to hear about the professor. You have my deepest condolences. Ah, well. Yeah, it was pretty rough when I found out my mom had died. But weirdly enough, my head actually feels clear now, for the first time in ages. In the Great Crater, I got to learn a bit about my mom's research and what she was trying to achieve down there. I guess if you're building something as mind-blowing as a time machine, that takes priority over showering your son with attention, huh? I don't agree with that. I don't think work ever takes priority over family. But, do have to say, it is still good to be a blessing to your parents, even if they aren't always a blessing to you. And vice versa, actually. All I know is I'm done feeling like some lost little kid. Done. Time to say goodbye and move on. I'm gonna enjoy every last day till graduation with my buds here. And my bostiff, of course. Well said, Master Arven. You truly are your mother's son. Of course, I must remind you that you're nowhere near enough credits to graduate. You'll need to study frantically to catch up, but I have every expectation of your success. What? And let us not forget the other good news. Our academy has a new champion. Though we sadly cannot make your valiant deeds in the Great Crater known to the public, your new champion rank, at least, should be celebrated throughout the whole school.
Ooh, I know how we should celebrate. We should hold a Pokemon battle contest.
Seriously? Could we not?
Classic Nimona.
A Pokemon battle contest, you say? While your own vested interest in such a venture are more than apparent, Miss Nimona, I think it's a fine idea. But please understand that a large-scale event will be quite beyond us. We've many other school activities to keep an eye on after all.
Pardon my intrusion. I couldn't help but overhear. The Pokemon League will, of course, happily lend a hand in organizing this contest. La Primera?
Well, well, a most kind offer, Chairwoman Gita.
I do everything in my power to nurture young and up-and-coming talent. Though, that's not to say only the youth have promise when it comes to Pokemon battles. A former gym leader, the developer of the Pokédex app, this academy clearly counts many skilled trainers of Pokemon among its staff. As such, my suggestion is as follows. Students and staff should compete for the title of strongest trainer at the academy. Whoa! We'd get to battle the teachers? You'd compete too, right, La Primera?
Is that even allowed? The chairwoman's not part of the academy, right?
Actually, I think she's the chairwoman of the school board as well as the Pokemon League.
Gosh, this region has some problems. Wait, for real? I mean, I knew she was on another level, but wow.
Thank you for the invitation, Champion Nimona. I would gladly take up your kind offer to compete alongside you all, but I'm afraid my schedule is already packed tight with work that I simply must attend to. Aw, can't you free up sometime somehow? Well, I suppose I might be able to participate if Champion Zeke would agree to lend me a hand with my work.
Where should I start? Excellent answer. Much obliged, Champion Zeke. To get straight to it, I would like you to go out and inspect Paldea's various gyms in my stead. Are they fulfilling their duties as beacons of strength and inspiration for all those aiming to achieve champion rank? Or has their brilliance started to fade? To find this out, I ask that you bring your full might as champion to bear against each of the gym leaders and test their prowess in battle. They are all trainers of exceptional talent, handpicked by me personally. I do not expect you'll find any cracks in their armor, but, well, consider it a formality. This will also provide the perfect stage for your first appearance as a new champion. Since all the gym leaders will still be expecting me to carry out the inspection, I imagine they'll must have mustered their full strength. I dare say they might be more of a challenge than when you faced them before. You get to have all-out battles with the gym leaders? Man, I'm jealous! Now then, on to another crucial matter. I'd like to discuss with Penny here how to patch the weaknesses in our Pokemon League point system. But there's a bunch of anime I've missed that I was just gonna binge.
You definitely look like an anime child.
Thank you in advance for your willing and eager cooperation. I mean, I'll do it. I'll help. Let me help. Excellent. We'll leave you all to it then. Come now, Penny. This is awesome, Zeke. Show this inspection thing who's boss so that La Primera can join our tournament, okay? And enjoy taking another swing at the gym gauntlet while you're at it. I'll take care of filling out the forms and other administrative stuff so the ball gets rolling on the tournament in the meantime.
I say, it's wonderful to see you all showing such initiative. You each have a critical role to play. Penny assisting the league, our new champion inspecting gyms, Nimona arranging the event. Give it your best, everyone. Guess my rule's so obvious it goes without saying? Poor Arvin was totally left out of that. Wow, that's pretty darn cool. So, let's see, check our destination. Alright, so looks like all the gyms, Zero Gate. All the gyms are open for us to fight again, and apparently they are going to be harder. That's pretty darn awesome because let me tell you, I was kind of one of my things that I was a little bit upset about concerning this game is the fact that we don't have gym leaders that scale to where you are in the game. I don't like that. That is something that Pokemon desperately needs to change, and I mean quick. Because the reality is here, and this is very important to state, that in order to make an open world Pokemon actually work, like truly open world, because like I've said before, this is not truly just open world. It's open world, yes, but more of like a Metroidvania style open world. In order to make this fit and work, we desperately need the games to have scaling gym leaders. Desperately need it. And I really sincerely hope that we get that. This whole process is just like ironing out the kinks. Now, while we're walking and doing some shopping and going around town kind of deal, I want to say a couple of things. I think that there are quite a few things about this game that are inexcusable. The graphics, the bugs, the pop-in, a lot of the things that many people are complaining about with these games. I think they're very inexcusable. I'm not going to excuse them. You shouldn't excuse them. Nobody should excuse them. Game Freak is a part of a multi-billion-dollar media company that is bigger than anything, Star Wars included.
Bigger than Disney, bigger than anything. Pokemon is the biggest media franchise on the face of God's green earth. All right, so I absolutely need these folks to understand something. We all need these folks to understand something. We need better, absolutely better, like, quality in these games. Just no fooling. We need it. And the only way that that's ever going to happen is if they're put to the grindstone with critique. I am not saying that we should be like these fools out here who are throwing all kinds of accusations and evil towards Game Freak and so on and so forth just because this game is not perfect. But I do understand people's frustrations. Oh, okay, into our Pokebag. If you select Koraidon while in the main menu is open, you can now have it change between his battle form and his ride form. Yeah, so here's the problem with this too. Pokemon really and truly needs to get this fixed as well. The problem with Koraidon is that if you change him to battle form, you cannot ride him until you change him back to regular form. Why is that an issue? Because he takes up a party slot when he is in battle form, and he doesn't when he's in ride form. Blows my mind that that's even a concept. Now, from what I understand, there is something coming later that will allow us to avoid this in a very, very weird way. A way that I'm not too fond or keen of, but, you know, it's basically how this is going to be done. I am not using Koraidon regardless in any battles upcoming until I have fully EV trained him. Because I plan on having an Uber's team, and he's going to be a part of it. I'm actually going to have an Uber's team for both Scarlet and Violet. So, if that tells you anything, that's going to be pretty interesting. So, my thing is that I did not want to spend this entire Let's Play bashing Game Freak. But I'll say something here, and this is a terrible thing for me to have to say and admit after the end of this Let's Play. The stuff that I was hearing about this Let's Play before, or about this game before I started my Let's Play, almost made me not do it. Because I figured, oh, wait a minute now. If it's going to be this bad, are people actually going to want to watch? Or are people just going to be like, oh, you're nothing but a shill, or this, that, or the other? And I'm not getting paid by Game Freak or Pokemon. And those who are not getting paid by Game Freak and Pokemon, even PokeTubers, none of them are. I 100% guarantee you. They're not shills. In order to be a shill, you have to be a sellout first, okay? And a sellout means that you are getting money. You're getting some kind of profit for doing this, you know? Now, some people could be considered a sellout in a way because you could get money inexplicably from your monetization. However, that's not really the same thing. And yes, you could still call them a shill, this, that, or the other. Ooh, Life Orb. And I'm not going to tell you what you can and cannot do. I really just don't care. I really just don't. But I will say this. We have every item, looks like, open to us. All the choice specs, all this stuff. I almost did not play this game in a Let's Play. But I watched my brother play, like, the first hour of gameplay. And was like, okay, yeah, it's not the greatest, but it's, you know, not the worst either. It really isn't. And so I decided based on that, I'm going to go ahead and throw myself into it and still play. Some people might be like, well, you know, you probably shouldn't have done that, blah, blah, blah. I don't really care. Fact of the matter is, ooh, these are really useful. It's really, it goes along, I think it goes without saying that this game needs its fixing. It needs its fixing. I really hope they patch it. I really hope they buff the textures, the graphics, the issues out and clean it and polish it completely and fully. But but I can see that being a little bit of an issue. I can see it being an issue because Pokemon doesn't really like to go back on these things and balance or any, it's kind of weird because, so here's the thing. Pokemon Sword and Shield still have issues that need buffing out and polishing, and I think that game has gotten like 4 or 5 patches, and 2 of those were DLC. So it's really hard to expect it, and it actually kind of bums me out a little bit. Because this game could literally be one of those games I would consider for Game of the Year if it was polished. If it was 100% complete, fixed, polished, no issues whatsoever, I would love it. However, that's just not the case. It's just not the case, and it's really unfortunate. It's really sad. I don't necessarily recommend it to anybody unless what you've seen is something you like. I love how it works. I loved the story. I loved the battling. I love the new Pokemon. I love the new moves, the new legendaries. But, the whole package is not really there. It's very unfortunate to say that. So, with all that being said, my final thoughts on this game is that it needs improvement. It needs betterment. It needs to be made better, stronger, more useful, more polished, more considerate of like everything that's going on in the game and like the limitations that they have. Because let's be real here. Saying that this game was limited by the Switch's hardware is not a valid excuse. Not at all. Anybody who's played Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild will tell you that. It is game of the decade. Breath of the Wild is game of the decade. Alright? It is one of the best games. I would say Smash is probably the only game I would consider, Smash Ultimate, that is better. And then there's Tears of the Kingdom coming out in only a few months here. And seriously, that game looks phenomenal. Like, beyond phenomenal. And it's on the Switch. Let's remember that. It's on the Switch. Breath of the Wild has almost no issues, period, running. Regardless. And it is filled with content. Maybe not as much as some people would like it to be, but the game is filled with content. It is beautiful. It's gorgeous. It's wonderful. It's fluid. It plays well. It runs well. It's just, Pokemon doesn't have an excuse here. And those are really almost all of the ideas and thoughts and concepts in my head that I had. Truly and honestly, I love this game, but I think it has a lot, and I mean a lot, of polish that it needs. Alright, so now that I'm finally through the game, I can show off the very thing that I did not want to show off in my boxes. So, almost all of these Pokemon here, I got in surprise trades. These are all the 6 regular Paradox Pokemon. There's 1 strong and then 6 regular Paradox Pokemon in each one of the games. And they're all legendaries. However, you can catch them infinitely, which is really weird. So we have 2 Volcaronas. There is Iron Moth, and then there's Slitherwing. I can't wait to get them. I am planning on using a good majority of all of the Paradox Pokemon and legendaries of both games in order to have 2 full teams. 2 full teams. I think that would be fantastic. I do need to get to the point where I have the solution about Koraidon being able to join in my party and whatnot, because once I do have that solution, it will be very much so more apparent exactly like what I'm going to be able to do in order to make both Uber's teams. Now, this is my competitive squad, so I only have 1 bug so far for the team. My doubles team is almost full. I only need 2 more Pokemon. And then my singles team is missing quite a large sum. Now, these are not finalized Pokemon. I'm not like this Finizen. Once I get the ability to check, which should actually be now, honestly, I think we have the ability now to check and judge the status of our Pokemon, like the IVs. If any of these Pokemon have perfect IVs, we're going to keep them because they were surprise trades. But if they're not, then, you know, we're just going to move on. And we're going to go and find the Pokemon for my teams. Cyclizar and the rest of your team should all be better now. Oh, by the way, did you know? Now that you have a Hall of Fame badge, I've unlocked the Judge function for you. While in your boxes, you can press the plus button twice to navigate to and check the individual strengths of your Pokemon. Or did you know that? Well, I do hope my little tidbits came in handy. Alright, so yeah, I was very much so correct. Once you beat the game and have the Hall of Fame badge, actually you don't really need to beat the game, you just need to be able to beat the Elite Four and the Champion. You have now the ability to check your Pokemon's IVs. Alrighty. Wow. Are we joking here? So this Finizen I got in a surprise trade has 5 best IVs and has a good nature, by the way. This is perfect. Amazing. This one I got from my friend. He's actually breeding. The only thing I need to do here is give him a bottle cap for his special defense. I'll have to do that for Finizen here as well. This Pokemon I got in a surprise raid. Or not a surprise raid. I got in a surprise trade, sorry. And he's got 4 best. Pretty awesome. Now, he is going to be a special attacker. I do need to bottle cap or hyper train the speed and change his nature. Alright, so this one has 3 best. Both these 2 Pokemon, and yes, they both have 3 best apparently, are Pokemon I caught in the wild. They're the glowing Pokemon, and they both had the exact Terra type I wanted. So this Corviknight's going to be Flying Steel with a Fighting Terra type, and this Slacking is going to be normal Ghost. Well, normal with a Ghost Terra type. And the reason why is because of the moves here. So Body Press, Drill Peck, Roost, and Iron Defense. I'm seriously thinking about keeping on Drill Peck instead of Iron Defense, but or instead of Iron Head, I mean, but I'm not entirely sure, because the fact of the matter is here is that it's kind of weird because, like, yeah, you can only change the move order in the party for some unknown reason. It depends. Depending on the spread that I have with my team and like what super effective moves I have and what typing coverage I need, I'm either going to be trading out Drill Peck for Iron Head or keeping in Drill Peck. Body Press I'm keeping because of Iron Defense, and Roost is a breeding ability or a breeding move with this Pokemon, which is amazing that he has it. Very unfortunate though that Roost was nerfed in this gen. It only has 5 power points. That's very brutal. So Slacking here, he's got Giga Impact. We don't care about that. I'm actually going to be giving him Facade, keeping Shadow Claw, and I'm going to be giving him Rock Slide and Earthquake as an idea. I came up with a fantastic idea. Now, of course, we're going to be getting rid of that hindering nature there. But the fantastic idea here is I'm actually going to be getting myself an Electros, or I should say an Electric. And I'm going to be using him as an Eviolite Pokemon with Gastro Acid. And I'm going to be starting my teams out sometimes with Slacking and an Electros. And I'm going to use Gastro Acid on Slacking because that totally gets rid of Truant. It's going to be amazing. I'm going to basically have an uber legendary Pokemon with a 670 base stat total normal type Pokemon who can just shred through whole teams. So I'm very excited for that. Of course, I do want a Veluza. This is a 3 best, a Dragon, Terra-typed, Water, and Psychic Veluza. Now, the Dragon Terra-type actually doesn't help considering, like, offensively, but I'm thinking about keeping it defensively because Dragon resists both of Water's weaknesses. And though it doesn't resist any of Psychic's weaknesses, it's neutral to all of Psychic's weaknesses. So it's almost like I'm getting a free good Terra type here. So that's pretty darn interesting. Flying Terra type on Colossal is just, it makes sense because Colossal is 4 times weak to both ground and water. Unfortunately, the water thing is kind of a big detriment. So I am going to try to make sure that I have the type of Pokemon that can really help Colossal. He doesn't have the correct ability here, though. I want Steam Engine. So there's some pretty interesting things I'm going to be doing with, like, for instance, battling and going on into the post game of this game. And I know that not everybody necessarily wanted to have like a good old discussion with Gamerman here, but I just wanted to, you know, say what's on my mind about this game and move forward. Now, of course, we have all the gyms before us. I don't know how difficult they're going to be, but I'm thinking about fighting them in a completely different order. And what's cool about that is that because now they should all be scaled to the level of my team, it doesn't matter who I fight. I'm probably going to leave the good old bug-type team for last. I want to see how much stronger Katie is with her bug types in Cortando Gym. Hopefully, we have a very decent fight there. Also, hopefully, we don't have to do the gym tests again. I think that would be really, really stupid. I didn't like half the gym tests. The other half were okay. I like the fact that they were trying something new, but not really that big and keen on it. There are 4 legendary Pokemon in this game that are one and done. They are not, in fact, Pokemon that you can catch infinitely like the Paradox Pokemon. And those Pokemon would happen to be the Ruin Pokemon. We are going to be gathering for ourselves all 4 of those after pulling out all 32 stakes in the ground that are needed to be pulled out. I am going to be doing that in an episode. Unfortunately, I did pick out 2 stakes, so I'm not going to be able to show off that. I'm probably going to do it kind of guide-like in that episode whenever we get around to it, because those Pokemon will be on my Uber's teams. They're pretty darn nuts. So, let's go ahead and go back to... The shutter on this side doesn't seem like it'll open. Perhaps it's broken. I wonder if we can fix that somehow. I want to go back to Area 0 before we do anything, and I'm going to catch myself a boatload of all of the special Pokemon. And the reason why I'm going to be doing this is specifically because I want to be able to surprise trade them, for one, but I also need one of everyone for this game, specifically because I already have all of them for Pokemon Scarlet, except for the strong Paradox Pokemon. I'm missing him. And I want to do that because I think that would be very cool. Whatever that Pokemon is has not spawned in quite yet. Alrighty. Yeah, Screamtail is... We're getting old game encounters here. So I have a feeling that the reason why you are given the Master Ball so that you can go and catch this Koraidon without having to actually fight and catch him. But yes, we are about to catch a second Koraidon, which is the reason why I came down here. It wasn't just so I could catch all these Paradox Pokemon that I'm going to be catching regardless anyway, and some, side Pokemon as well. But I do want to thank you for joining me. If you like my content, please upvote and follow, or like and subscribe depending on your platform. Share and comment. Always appreciated. And while you're at it, have a great and glorious day gaming. Let's catch this Koraidon next time, shall we?